just briefly remind me of just exactly what had happened. The school had been taken away from you.
Well, the depression was very bad, and maybe they thought I wasn't able to continue. And relationships with myself and the board were very difficult. And the students rallied round me, and they wrote letters and peace campaigns. And
not just the students you had. I mean, you had politicians, Chris Smith, writers, Irving Welsh,
yes.
Bernard Copps, all
Archbishop Desmond Tutu. I know. Dr. Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi's grandson, Yolanda King, rest her soul, she's died a year or so ago. She wrote a wonderful letter.
Martin Luther King's?
Yes, his firstborn, Yolanda. Because I had... And it really was quite shocking. And I can really say I was desperate.
It was extraordinary what they said about you. When I saw the phrase, they said you had an ability deficit.
Oh yes, that's right.
What a phrase. What on earth could they have meant?
I know. But we had these kangaroo court type meetings, and oh Laurie, that was just awful. And there was me, Charles, and maybe one other, and then there was a group of them. And it was the absolute opposite to Ubuntu.
Yes, yes.
It was the absolute opposite to it. And, I wanted to reach forward, but they were so... Their faces, somebody said there wasn't 1 ounce of compassion. And that's another thing which I find a great quality in people, compassion. When people have got compassion, empathy. And it just got worse and worse.
They had your name. They wouldn't, your name, they still went on using your name for the school, even though you were only allowed to go back and teach under certain conditions. I've seen a reference to an 86-point document that you were required to acknowledge. And then you had to go back so they could test to see whether or not you were able to do what you were doing properly.
2 of my students were sort of monitoring me. My uncle, who was wonderful, who was very strong in the campaign to get me back, he's died as well now, Uncle Cecil, and he said, why didn't they get, while I was ill, somebody in as a temporary measure?
Yes.
Until, I'd already worked over 32 years then without a day's absence.
Do you think it was because looking at the documents, you find these references to the idea that you were introducing notions of integration, you were introducing... Their argument was that you were introducing politics into their drama classes, wasn't it? It was a bit like that. They were saying, you're not just doing straight drama, you're doing other things.
Yes, that's right.
That was around them.
Yes. But you see, as Shakespeare says, all the world's a stage. If there was sort of a green issue in the environment, I use poetry as well, as I said, to, enlighten the classes. And I needed to be free to do these things, which had worked perfectly well for over 30 years. And indeed, they were fine about it. Bernard Copps wrote a lovely poem about it. And there were just so many followers. But I still don't know, Laurie.
Coming to the end now of our conversation, I suppose you must be quite difficult to live with, because you seem to be on all the time. There's something going on. There's the next thing that you're going to be doing. And I read a little remark that was made by your son John, who said that he didn't like coming along to your classes because he said, you're not who you are.
At home.
Yes. What did he mean by that? I'm interested to know what he meant.
I think he meant, when I was in the teacher persona, which I think I am, whether I'm, with a friend over lunch or whatever. When I'm in the teacher persona, he didn't feel that that was me and the me that he sees at home. But I don't think a lot need to be read into that. I think he... we're a merry little trio at home, and I try not to be too sort of ebullient.
And what about, tell me, because, you've now reached, you're respectable now, aren't you, I suppose, aren't you? Didn't you recently win, I think that you won the Women in Film and Television Award?
Yes.
Sounds very respectable. Grand dinner, I see as well. I think it was presented by Kathy Burke as well.
Yes, it was. Lovely.
Now, so do you feel that you've become respectable now? That you've that somehow, because you were always pioneering, you were always doing things that other people weren't doing. Is that a new respectability?
I feel there's still work to be done.
What work? Tell me about what you want to do now. Still want to do?
Well, I think I've got a secret hope of being back there.
Back in the...
Barnsby Road.
Really? And how...
Well,
how might that come about? Tell me where you are.
I don't know. Well, somebody who's... First of all the board that were there when I was there, they've all gone. And... somebody approached me at the Film and Television Awards ceremony, and when we were leaving, this person approached me, and I think she wanted some kind of olive branch, and she was on the board.
So the original Anna Scher Theatre School could rise again?
Well, that would be wonderful.